The South China Sea is a lifeline for the global economy, with trillions in trade passing through its lanes each year. Beneath its surface lie vast reserves of oil and gas, and its rich fishing grounds feed millions. Control over these waters is a matter of global strategic importance. The South China Sea is now the stage for a high-stakes geopolitical standoff. Multiple countries claim its islands and resources, but the fiercest conflict is between China and the Philippines. China, with the world's largest navy, claims nearly the entire sea. The Philippines, a smaller nation, defends its rights under international law. Chinese vessels routinely harass Filipino fishermen and block government ships, creating constant tension. The world watches closely, as the outcome here affects freedom of navigation and the stability of the Indo-Pacific. Recently, the Philippines has shifted tactics, actively exposing China's aggressive actions to the world. This bold strategy has put Beijing on the defensive and rallied international support for Manila. The Philippines' approach is a modern lesson in how transparency and law can challenge brute force. This conflict pits two vastly unequal nations against each other. China, with its massive population and military, seeks total control over the South China Sea, citing historical rights. The Philippines, an archipelago with limited resources, relies on international law to defend its sovereignty. China uses its size to intimidate, deploying ships to normalize its presence and erode Philippine control. The Philippines, however, stands firm on the principle that all nations must follow the same rules. Manila's strategy isn't about military might, it's about legitimacy and global opinion. By framing the dispute as a test of international law, the Philippines challenges China's attempts to rewrite the rules. This is not just a territorial fight, it's a battle over the future of the global order. The Philippines is determined to prove that even smaller states can defend their rights. The world is watching to see if law and principle can triumph over power. The South China Sea dispute has deep roots. China's claim is based on the Nine-Dash Line, a sweeping boundary drawn in 1947, lacking legal foundation. The Philippines bases its claim on geography and the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS. As an archipelagic state, the Philippines is entitled to a 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone. Many disputed features like Mischief Reef fall within this zone. In the 1990s, China began occupying these features, building artificial islands and military bases. Diplomatic protests and alliances did little to stop China's expansion. The 2012 Scarborough Shoal standoff was a turning point. China seized control and blocked Filipino fishermen. This betrayal taught Manila that quiet diplomacy was not enough. The Philippines realized it needed a more assertive strategy to protect its interests. The stage was set for a new approach. The current flashpoint is 2nd Thomas Shoal, just 105 nautical miles from the Philippines' Palawan Island. In 1999, the Philippines grounded the BRP Sierra Madre there, turning it into a military outpost. Filipino Marines rely on regular resupply missions, which China tries to block with aggressive tactics. China wants the outpost gone, hoping to seize the shoal without a fight. In 2023, the Philippines changed course. Publicly documenting and exposing China's harassment, journalists now witness and share real-time footage of Chinese ships ramming and using water cannons. This transparency shatters China's narrative of peaceful intentions. It unites Filipinos and puts global attention on China's actions. The world can no longer ignore the reality in these contested waters. The Philippines' new strategy is reshaping the conflict. It's a bold stand for sovereignty and international law. The Philippines' transparency strategy is a masterstroke of modern statecraft. Unable to match China militarily, Manila wields the power of information. By releasing clear, real-time evidence of Chinese aggression, the Philippines has changed the global narrative. The world now sees China's actions for what they are, dangerous and unprovoked. This approach undermines China's propaganda and exposes its double standards. Unlike past quiet diplomacy, assertive transparency puts China on the defensive. International support for the Philippines has surged, with major powers citing Manila's evidence. The cost of China's aggression is rising as its reputation suffers. The Philippines has turned the South China Sea into a global stage. Every confrontation is now a test of China's credibility. The transparency strategy is rallying a coalition for a free and open Indo-Pacific. It's a new kind of deterrence, one built on truth. The Philippines' legal foundation is the 2016 ruling by the Permanent Court of Arbitration. The tribunal declared China's 9-dash line invalid and affirmed the Philippines' rights within its exclusive economic zone. China rejected the ruling, but the legal victory gave Manila powerful leverage. For years, this win was underused, but now it's central to the Philippines' strategy. Every publicized incident reminds the world that China is violating international law. The arbitral award is now a rallying point for global support. The law is the Philippines' strongest shield and its sharpest sword. By linking transparency to legal legitimacy, Manila makes it harder for others to stay neutral. The Philippines is using law and truth to defend its future. China's gray zone tactics, aggressive but just short of war, once gave it the upper hand. Its Coast Guard and maritime militia harassed the Philippines, changing the status quo bit by bit. The world was slow to react, and Manila struggled to respond. But transparency has upended this strategy. Now China faces a dilemma: escalate and risk global backlash, or back down and lose face. Every act of aggression is caught on camera, damaging China's reputation. If China escalates, it risks triggering the US-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty. If it retreats, it emboldens other claimants. The Philippines has trapped China in its own gray zone. The balance of power is shifting. The Philippines' stand is inspiring the region. Other Southeast Asian nations like Vietnam and Malaysia are watching and learning. Manila's success with transparency is giving them a new playbook to resist Chinese coercion. ASEAN is slowly shifting as unity grows against China's divide-and-conquer tactics. The Philippines' alliances are stronger than ever, with support from the US, Japan, Australia, and Europe. Joint patrols and diplomatic backing are building a coalition for a free Indo-Pacific. The Philippines is now the focal point of this global effort. Its courage is turning a remote shoal into a test case for the rules-based order. The outcome here will echo far beyond these waters. The standoff at Second Thomas Shoal remains tense and unpredictable. China is unlikely to give up its ambitions and may adapt its tactics to keep pressure on Manila. The Philippines must sustain its transparency campaign and international support. The fate of the BRP Sierra Madre is a looming question. The ship is deteriorating, and any attempt to repair or replace it could spark a crisis. Manila must balance assertiveness with caution, always grounding its actions in law. The durability of alliances, especially with the US, will be crucial. This is more than a local dispute. It's a contest between rule of law and raw power. The Philippines has shown that even a middle power can stand up to a superpower with the right strategy. The world is watching to see if this approach can succeed. The future of global stability may hinge on what happens at this remote shoal. The South China Sea is now a bellwether for the principles that will shape the 21st century.